Hey, everybody.
All right. How about that, Bella?
Oh, it's done. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it later.
About this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, hope everybody had a good time.
The finale. Or not finale, that vlog. Yeah.
He's not going to go, honey. You can just come and get him.
Yeah. Chelsea's trying to call the dog. No, take him.
Please.
Take him. We do not want him out here. He is the sweetest boy in the world, but he's so
special guest star Woody.
Branding. Hello.
See, no free advertisement.
God.
Bye, Woody. Bye, Chelsea.
Bye, Woody. Bye, Chelsea. Also, we need everyone to know for posterity, because I don't think it's going to save in the playback, that an hour before we went live, our cover artist, Aries, just logged on, dropped the words, hola, hola, bitch, que pasa, in the chat, and logged off. Yeah. I need that recorded for posterity. Okay. Anyway, going into the actual Q&A. Oh, goodness. First of all, talking points. We are still doing a giveaway over on our Twitter when we hit 300 followers. Got the little keychains. They're very good.
Yes, 3 lucky winners will be getting their choice of either a Leo keychain or a Fee keychain.
Yeehaw. And
sorry, I have to confiscate the plastic from our cat.
Yeah, our cat is trying to
Girl.
Help. Girl, help. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, update. For our $5 patrons, the Battle of Omegon Part 2 bonus episode coming out very, very, very soon.
Very soon.
Soon.
Probably tonight soon.
Yeah. Yeah. The transcript will probably not be up until tomorrow because I've been having health issues and I'm going to go to bed. But the actual episode will probably be up tonight. Wahoo. We know it's late. We're sorry. We had a bit of a crunch towards the end of the season.
Yeah, we know it's very late.
Yeah.
A couple months late. We did our best.
A couple months. A few weeks. A few weeks then. Anyway. But that will be going up probably tonight. Also, that is a good starting point to launch into our hiatus plans. So,
if you haven't watched the teaser for our new campaign, Desert Song, yet, go watch it. It's on YouTube. We have it on Twitter. We have it on our Tumblr.
We worked really hard on it. We're really proud of it. It's fun. In addition, we're doing some ARG stuff on our Twitter and our Tumblr, which is
you may have already seen some of that.
Yeah,
it's going to be something that you don't have to participate in, but we thought it was something that would keep the excitement up.
Yes.
And keep people engaged, while we're
on hiatus.
For a while. Yeah. Because we are gonna. There's a reason we didn't give a concrete release date.
Yeah. Yeah, we're moving cross country probably at the end of next month. So we're gonna have enough time to record a couple more bonus episodes for the Patreon, and record some audio stuff for the ARG. But we will not have time to start recording Campaign 2 until after we move. And we still have to do some planning for late stage stuff for that, and Barry doesn't know how to play Monster of the Week yet, which is the system that
I feel like I'll pick it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's not a hard game. It is a Powered by the Apocalypse system, if you didn't know that. So it is pretty quick to pick up, but it is very much we have to teach Barry how to play that before we can start recording, and we can't do that until after we move. So the hiatus is going to be going on for probably a little bit. So we're keeping up with some of the ARG stuff just to have something that is going out that is fun to do while we don't have episodes going up. So we're going to be posting a lot of coded messages on our various social medias.
We're going to be making some audio snippet things that will have hidden clues in them.
Yes.
If you're at all sensitive to unreality or cryptology or stuff like that, you can mute the hash. You can blacklist the hashtag CD Desert Song. That's what we're going to be tagging everything with on all of our social media.
Participation is not at all necessary. If you are triggered by unreality, please blacklist it. We want everybody to prioritize their health first and foremost. This is just something fun that we're doing. We also have a few things for that we are putting exclusive to the Patreon. So sign up to our Patreon if you would like. We're going to have some extras up there.
Well, and a little bit of a slip there. You said, well, we don't have episodes coming out. We will have episodes coming out.
That's true, yeah. We're going to be posting some of the bonus episodes from our $5 patrons, or from our $5 tier Patreon. We're going to be posting them public, probably one-ish a month for the next couple months. And we're going to be putting up more stuff for our $5 patrons. So we have 2 more bonus episodes coming to them, not counting Omeroth 2, which is about to go up. And then we're just going to keep releasing bonus episodes publicly for the next few months, just so we have something coming out while we're on hiatus.
Also, keep an eye out for a lot of new official art that's going to be coming.
Yes,
I don't know if Aries is in here or not, but we showed up.
Aries said they were going to have us on in the background.
Yeah, we showed up and unleashed a reckoning on Aries' commissions this month, so we're going to have a lot.
We both got a little bit of unexpected money, and
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a lot of new official art, and I commissioned some official art from somebody else too, but I don't have an ETA on that, so
gonna have those going up. So those, the ARG bonus episodes going public, all that will be going on for the next few months. So it's not like we're gonna be radio silent. It's just gonna take us a while to get Desert Song up.
Yeah, because we have to get out ahead of it. You know, because if you consider, like, we started this campaign 13 episodes ahead, and by the time we got to the end, we were crunching it. Yeah.
So we're gonna try to get ahead of it by like at least half a season, and we'll see where we're at and when we get there. So all depends. But yes, we are very excited, and we're gonna have some stuff going up during the hiatus, so that'll be fun. As far as Q&As, we will definitely be having a Q&A after each bonus episode release. Other than that, we haven't worked out an exact schedule. We'll probably have.
It doesn't. There really won't be anything to discuss, so I don't really see the point in having Q&As. So
we'll see. We'll see what we have up and just kind of go from there. Playing loosey goosey with it, just again because we're moving. Okay, and then that's all of our talking points at the top. Let's go into the playlist for the epilogue. So the first song is quite sad. The first song was for the Leo Soren and Lorelei song at the beginning of the epilogue, and it's from Soren's point of view. It's Willy Boots by The Amazing Devil. Take it away, Barry. Please take it away. Discuss your crimes. This is now your trial at The Hague.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm so proud of you, and when they laugh at us, you'll feel my fingers down your back, and when you scream, I'm not all right, and throw my picture at the wall, you were supposed to be my light and keep me safe against them all. How could you leave me here, you'll scream, and louder I'll scream back to you from that unknown, and say I know you're strong enough to do this on your own. And years from now at night, that storm will break. You'll step outside to feel it shake and barefoot walk across the lawn. You'll miss me. Oh, Jesus Christ, you'll miss me. But just as much as all those years ago, and you'll look up at the storm. You'll say, I've been so scared. You left me here behind. Do you not care? How the fuck am I supposed to carry on without you here? Just when you're about to give up every hope you have, you turn around, perch by the stairs, someone's gone and left a brand new pair of scarlet welly boots. Like, the whole song is written from the POV of a person who has died and left someone behind.
Somebody in the chat said, absolutely still not over the epilogue. I lay down on the cold hard ground and just decompose.
Same.
I love the evocative language in the chat. It's always so good.
Same.
Okay. And the rest of the playlist is happier, much like the epilogue itself.
Yeah, we weren't fucking kidding when we were like, the first scene is very, very sad, and the rest of it is very happy and very carefree.
Just like the first 10 minutes of the actual episode, gut-wrenching.
It took us like 2 hours to record.
It took us like 2 hours to record that scene.
Because we were both like full body crying. Like, it was bad.
We had to go lay down in the middle of recording. It was really bad. Anyway. The next song on the playlist was No Choir by Florence and the Machine, which, if you're signed up to Patreon at, like, the $3 tier, we released playlists entitled Fecule, but it's all Florence, from the perspective of each member of the Fecule, and we ended all 3 of them with No Choir. So it felt correct to put it over the Parlay Cove scene. And it's hard to write about being happy because the older I get, I find that happiness is an extremely uneventful subject. But I must confess I did it all for myself. I gathered you here to hide from some vast unnameable fear. But the loneliness never left me. I always took it with me, but I can put it down in the pleasure of your company. And there will be no grand choirs to sing, no chorus will come in, no ballad will be written, it will be entirely forgotten. And if tomorrow is all over, at least we had it for a moment. Oh, darling, things seemed so unstable, but for a moment we were able to be still. I love Fecule a lot. Somebody, in regard to us saying the first scene was really bad, said, I believed you entirely, but I couldn't have perplexed by. So true. God. The next song on the playlist was Oh Sleeper by the Yo-Hellos. That's Leah's song.
Yeah, so we did this because the first track of the episode 1 playlist was Eurus.
I think it's the first track, but it's on. Is it the first track?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the first track of the episode 1 playlist is Eurus by the Yo-Hellos. And this is the song either from right before or right after it on the track list of that album.
To it on the album.
Yeah, and it felt good to round it out, round out as we were catching up with like what Leo was doing and how he had changed and how his opinions on the throne had changed.
Yeah, especially because that's that song. I believe it has the line of she takes her cake and steals a bite of mine, something like that.
Yeah, fighting for crumbs that trickle down as she finishes her cake and takes a bite of mine. Yeah.
And so it was very illustrative of Leo and Fee's relationship in the first episode, and then it was good to kind of have this as an end cap of like the Leo point of view, and like just to draw the comparison.
Yeah, but like the sun that turns the sky, illuminating all in time, the tables in the temple will be turned on their side, and just as it scorches up the dunes, beneath the height of noon, the pillars of the empire will be burned in kind, and by the holy rock I stand, as blessed as the sacred ram. I see the trail of shoulders I've climbed over, but by God, I'll bloody up my hands with everything I am to cut away the mountains I've made and fill the dales below. Like it was just a very good song for like Leo's change of heart and like understanding of what leadership and responsibility is. Like, which we have more to say about that later because we got questions about it.
We got questions about Leo and Fee's character arcs.
Yeah. Chasing the Sun by Sara Bareilles. This was another... Yeah, that was the one for the Pearlport scene.
And that was also an end cap because on the episode 1 playlist, we had a Sara Bareilles song from the same album.
It was Hercules, wasn't it?
No, it was... I can pull it up. Hang on. I have to open up our episode playlist folder. Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't from the same album, but it was Let the Rain by Sara Bareilles.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had that as the first Fee song on any playlist, so it felt good to put this here. But, what am I going to quote from here? Yeah, sure. So how do you do it with just words and just music? Capture the feeling that my earth is somebody's ceiling. Can I deliver and sound the weight of the ground of a cemetery in the center of Queens? There's a history through her, sent to us as a gift from the future to show us the proof. More than that, it's to dare us to move and to open our eyes and to learn from the sky. You said, remember that life is not meant to be wasted. We can always be chasing the sun, so fill up your lungs and just run. Yeah. It's a very optimistic and a very like cheerful song, and it just felt nice to put it on the Pearlport.
It's nice to put songs about the Valscience being happy on a playlist.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was really nice to record the rest of the epilogue that was happy. We're proud of the first scene. It was really nice to record the rest of it.
Yeah, we were very glad to be done with it.
we were very glad to be done with the first scene, even though we are proud of it.
I was
doing
like,
the rest of it.
Oh my god, I was a mess. I was like red in the face, tears running down. Like you can hear me sobbing like on the recording. Same. Like I was like physically crying.
Like I'm proud of my voice acting, but like
we were very much both crying.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I was not voice acting as hard during that first scene as I usually am.
No, we were both
a lot of
bawling.
It was just
like yeah.
Oh god. Somebody in the chat said, "What a thing to exist in the end." Like, wow, Valsine's thriving. How? Yeah.
They worked really hard.
Yeah,
That's how.
Really hard. God.
And they deserve it.
And they deserve it.
Speaking of songs about the Valsines being happy, I have known from the day that we recorded episode 1 and the day that we decided to do individual playlists for all these episodes that Leo's closing track was going to be From Now On from The Greatest Showman.
The Zac Brown Band cover.
Yeah, it's the Zac Brown Band cover, but I knew that From Now On was going to be the last Leo song that we heard on these playlists, and it was so much to like listen to the playlist and like finally hear it and be like, holy shit, it happened.
Aww.
But like, oh man, just everything about this song. I drank champagne with kings and queens. The politicians praised my name, but those were someone else's dreams. The pitfalls of the man I became. For years and years, I chased their cheers at the crazy speed of always needing more. But when I stop and see you here, I remember who all this was for. And from now on, these eyes will not be blinded by the lights. And from now on, let's wait until tomorrow starts tonight. And let this promise in me start like an anthem in my heart from now on. Like... It's fucking emblematic of Leo's character arc, like, and where he ended up. Like, I knew from day one that was going to be the last time we heard from Leo individually on a playlist.
Yeah, because Leo's character arc, like the end game of Leo's character arc, you had figured out from like day one. I spent a lot more time waffling on where I wanted Fee to end up.
You firmed it up in season 2, essentially. You really weren't sure like where she was gonna land, but then season 2 happened, and you were like,
I know. Well, we still had like, there were still like details that we were figuring out in season 3. Like we thought Fee was gonna stay the pirate queen for a while, and then we recorded the actual scene of Defiance dying, and I was like,
she's not doing this. Yeah.
Nope. And then the last song on the playlist was A Better Son / Daughter by Rilo Kiley.
And this is the song that is playing as the Valsines are like standing on the porch watching the kids play.
Yeah.
The lighthouse come on. Like
specifically because of verse 2, and sometimes when you're on, you're really fucking on, and your friends, they sing along and they love you, but the lows are so extreme that the good seems fucking cheap, and it teases you for weeks in its absence, but you'll fight and you'll make it through, you'll fake it if you have to, and you'll show up for work with a smile, and you'll be better and you'll be smarter and more grown up and a better daughter or son and a real good friend. You'll be awake, you'll be alert, you'll be positive though it hurts, and you'll laugh and embrace all your friends. You'll be a real good listener, you'll be honest, you'll be brave, you'll be handsome, and you'll be beautiful. You'll be happy. It's such a song. If you listen to no other episode playlist, this one.
Listen to this one.
Listen to this one. We were really proud of it. Somebody in the chat said, Leo, my dear, my everything. He has such character development, I fall over. So true. But yeah, if you listen to no other episode playlist, this one. Oh my god. Like, I am tearing up a little bit thinking about this episode playlist. It was really good. Now we go into our actual questions for our patrons. Oh, goodness. We got asked, can you do a minor segment for each character's arc, as in how it started and how it ended?
Oh, each character.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to need a piece of paper so we can keep track of this, because there's a lot. Remember how we mentioned that we had a big cast in this campaign?
Yeah.
If we miss anybody, just feel free to call it out.
Yeah, if we miss anybody, tell.
There's a chance that we're going to miss some people.
Yeah, okay, main cast.
Leo and Fee, we got asked for
separately. We will cover Leo and Fee
separately.
Order of introduction,
Eleonora.
Zed.
Fen Kalesa.
Ravane.
Celica Talindra. Hold on. So, Zed. Fen Kalesa.
Yes.
I'm a slow writer. I'm sorry.
We're just writing down everybody we have to cover. We have a big guest.
We're just gonna go however the fuck long we need to go today. Like it don't matter.
It's just gonna go how long it goes. Got a lot of stuff to cover. The person that asked us to do this question said, "So sorry, besties," but also they deserve it.
They do deserve it.
Don't apologize. Like, we want to go over this.
Yeah. Okay. Celica, Talindra, Ereve,
Verdi, Sabine.
Yes.
And the cat. As far as our main cast.
So that was actually before Remain.
Yes, yeah.
So that was Sabine.
Yes.
Very.
I was trying to think of everybody that wasn't the
Yeah.
Captain. Oh, goodness. Probably we should go over Soren, even though he had kind of a smaller part.
Yeah.
Nora.
And yeah, because Lark and Adra didn't really have.
Yeah.
Well,
but
should we do?
Discuss Nora.
Well, we should do the villains too.
Yeah, I think we discussed them a little bit, but we should go over them too.
Okay. We have like 12 people written down, so we're just gonna go from there. And if we skip over anybody you want to hear about, just
let
shout
us know.
it out.
We'll go over.
Okay, so what was the question again?
Let's go over everybody's character arcs, where they started, where they ended.
Okay, Eleonora.
Okay, so the thing about Eleanor's arc was it was very much like we started off with and Adana.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Goddamn. We have a big cast. The list that we have here is larger than the cast that we were planning to do for campaign 2. Okay. Eleonora. Okay, so the thing about Eleonora is she started off like very idealistic. Like a lot of what she was trying to do in season 1 was trying to keep other people on the straight and narrow and trying to live up to an image she had in her head of who her father was and who her mother would have wanted her to be. And I think by the end, she has kind of grown out of that to be a lot more practical and to be like her own person and not really care about the expectations that other people have.
Like, while still being a very like upstanding and moral person.
Yeah, like she's still a very moral person, but I think she is moral on her own terms now rather than the terms that her parents would have wanted. And I think a lot of that was kind of informed by her breakup with Leo, rooming with Zed for a year while he was at his lowest, and her relationship with Kalessa. Because Kalessa is so chaotic. And I think Kalessa is the exact kind of person that I think her father would not have wanted her to end up with, because Kalessa is very chaotic and because Kalessa is very ruthless. And like I think her choosing to stay with Kalessa and choosing to help Kalessa at her lowest point after the explosion at the embassy was very much the solidifying moment for Eleonora of, okay, she was not going to be the person that her parents had wanted her to be. She was going to stick by what she thought was right. And I think...
Well, and I think there was a realization, too, there of, like, that moment where she was, comforting Kalessa after that and staying with her of, like, oh, wow, I am not the person my parents wanted me to be. But and you know what? But I like this person, and I think this person can help people.
Yeah, and, like, that's a big part, is, like, she moved from an idealized version of morality to living, like, practically in the, okay, this is what I can do practically to help people, rather than theoretical future, this might help people out. Like, I think she always wanted to help people, and she always wanted to be that person, and in the beginning, she kind of conceptualized that as, like, being what her father was, and, like, taking over Estermith, and being responsible for a lot of people, and I think she kind of took that all on her shoulders, and by the end, she has narrowed it down to something that is practical, and, like, these are my people, these are the people that I can help, these are concrete things that I can
do. Which is, like, why being co-pirate queen works out very well for her, actually, like...
Yeah.
Like, that gives her, it gives her a circle, it gives her,
Eleonora's character development has become Butch.
So true. And you know what? Good for her.
I'm joking, but also... Zed. Okay.
Oh, man. Many thoughts about Zed.
I think, here's the thing about Zed. He started off being very... I think, to an extent, he didn't care about his own life at the beginning, and, like, he didn't care about a lot of things, and he was kind of a disconnected wanderer through life. And he kept everybody at a distance at the beginning. Like, we saw that with him trying to keep his relationship with Leo strictly professional.
And, like getting really fucked up over the fact that he couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, like, it was very much a thing of Zed was trying to move through life accountable to no one and connected to no one and just trying to get through it day to day. And by the end, we see him settle down in a house with his husband and his baby. Like, it's very much, he very much learned to be connected to people, even though it hurt. Like, it did hurt him at the end of season 1. Like, it did wreck his shit in a pretty profound way and continued to hurt him through season 3. But, like, he stuck with it, especially with Leo, because, like, that was what made him happy. Like, being with Leo made him happy, and as much as it hurt him. And, like, he learned to take a lot of accountability. Like, we saw that in, like, the final Leo-Zed fight of him going, okay, I overreacted a little bit. I'm going to be accountable for my part of this argument, and I love you, and I want to make this work.
Yeah.
Like, it was very much, yeah, it is very much a story of, like, taking responsibility for your actions and choosing to let people in, even though it sucks to do that a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my favorite parts about Zed's story is how hard it drives home the, like, even though you know it's gonna hurt you, like, choose, like, knowing that love is going to hurt you and choosing to love anyway is, like, so fucking brave. And, like, with the specific flavor of trauma that Zed has been through, and, like, went through over and over and over again throughout his relationship with Leo. Like, not that was through any fault of Leo's.
Yeah.
For the most part, like,
for the most part, yeah. Like,
Leo was in a mental health crisis for, like, one of those times. But the fact that he committed to that, like, that was really brave.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's going to be the end point of a lot of the character arcs that we're going to talk about, because the podcast is about being brave and letting people in.
Yeah.
The podcast is about trust.
And community.
And community, yeah.
So on and so forth, yeah.
So on and so forth. But, like, that was the very much the point of Zed's arc. And I love him. Somebody in the chat said...
Called him their scrunkly blorba.
Somebody in the chat said, Zed's still the light of my life, my beacon in the dark, my scrunkly blorbo, my. Yeah.
Mood.
Yeah.
Mood.
Same.
Fen. Oh, man. Fen... I think his character arc, I mean, as far as where he started, Fen had very little concept of himself.
Yeah.
Fen completely defined himself by what he was to other people. Yeah. He was Fee's bodyguard, and Fee's friend with benefits, and Kalessa's best friend, and his father's only child left that he had left, and, like, a knight of the realm. Like, he just defined himself by all these things that he was to other people, and he didn't really have a concept of self. I don't think. I don't think he had ever had A, the time, or B, the inclination to really sit down and think, who am I? Because
somebody in the chat said Fernando Stormare King, all you had to do is use conditioner.
It's amazing what a hair care routine will do to you. But I mean, I think he never had the time or the inclination to really sit down and examine himself and ask, who am I? Because I think he knew that the answer would scare him, and that the answer would be contrary to a lot of those roles that he had with the other people in his life. Yeah. And through the entire shit show in season 1, with, like, everything going on with Fee and his relationship with Fee, like, momentarily eroding for a bit, like, I think that was when, like, the chips in the armor of, like, not talking about who am I with himself kind of started to appear. Because who was he if not Fee's bodyguard? Like, he had that moment where, like, he just left and he wasn't anything. Yeah. And, you know, you would have to do some self-introspection at that point. Yeah. And then it just, you know, it kept going, like, after he thought Fee died, and, like, after he met Mia, and they started being in a relationship, and Mia was, like, very, very strongly about this idea of, like...
We forgot Mia in the list.
I put them...
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I remembered. You know, meeting Mia and having them be so strongly about, like, you deserve to be better because you deserve to be better, and you deserve to be happy not by any merit of anything you have done for anybody else, but just because you are a person and you deserve happiness. Like,
yeah, and I think a lot of that was because Fen and Mia had similar trauma, and Mia was like, okay, I'm going to tell him all of the things I needed somebody to tell me when I was in this situation, because nobody told Mia to prioritize themselves.
No, they had to learn it over tens of thousands of years.
Yeah. Well, they fucking died and then had to learn it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah. But yeah, that I can talk about Fenmia for a while. I'm not going to talk about Fenmia strictly in this epilogue Q&A, but I could for a long time. Okay, Kalessa.
Oh, man. Kalessa's character arc is one of her just getting her shit absolutely wrecked and somehow bouncing back from it. I mean...
Yeah, but also, like...
I think she started...
about it in her conversation with Leo of, like, her self-conception being fun, happy-go-lucky Kalessa, and then, like, so much of the endgame of her character arc was her backing up from that, and, like, so much of all of her character arc was so much about her, like, backing up from that and being a little vulnerable and, like, understanding that she was not just worth loving because she was fun, happy-go-lucky Kalessa. Like, she had other things to offer.
And also that she had people around her that loved her at her ugliest. Like, I mean, like...
Yeah, like, a lot of Kalessa's arc was just about her acknowledging that her emotional depth was not a character flaw.
Yeah.
And we saw that, like, as early as Soren's death. Like, we saw her break down after that and then kind of build herself back up. And then through season 3, we saw her kind of tearing down that wall and trying to, like, get through it and talk about her feelings honestly. And we saw her break down in front of Eleonora and be okay with that. And then everything else after the embassy moment. Yeah.
Well, and I think... you know, as far as, like, character progression goes, like, Kalessa did start the series, like, pretty naive, I would say. And, like, her going from that initial naivete to being a fucking force to be reckoned with by the end of it. Like, being the pirate queen of goddamn Australia by the end of it.
While still not losing...
her humanity.
And her sense of... And things that made her fun and that made her like herself. Like, her sense of drama and, like, her theatrics. Like, she didn't lose that because those were fundamental parts of her identity.
Well, no, and, like, and it's not that fun, happy-go-lucky Kalessa, like, doesn't exist. It's not like that's a fake person. But I feel like she made herself very one-dimensional. Yeah. And has learned to stop doing that.
Yeah. A lot of the character arcs are about trust and community and identity. Somebody in the chat said, oh, Kalessa, ugh. And then she grew into green hair, pronouns, and self-love, like literally slay. Orange hair by the end of the Luxion arc, and then purple.
Yeah, she went from blue to green to orange to purple. Yeah.
What will she do next? It will be iconic, I'm sure.
We can't do pink. Verity has the monopoly on that.
Verity does have the monopoly on pink. Although she might have grown out of it. But anyway. And then Sabine.
Boy, howdy. Oh, man. Sabine went from so fundamentally mistrustful of every single person around her to somebody with such an expansive and also tight-knit community of people that she trusts implicitly. I feel a lot of ways about Sabine learning to trust people again. Like, Sabine's character development goes in kind of a parallel route between going from this, like, mysterious person that goes everywhere using aliases and doesn't trust anybody and only relies on herself because that's the only person that's not going to hurt her, to, like, somebody that is in this wonderful, stable relationship and has, like, this huge network of people around her that she now trusts implicitly and gets to be happy and have a sense of community with. because Sabine was so alone for so long. Like, yeah, she had some of her siblings with her in the dance troupe, but like,
fundamentally, they are not people that she can depend on because she needs to protect them.
Yeah, because like in her mind, they depend on her, and like that's kind of the other route that her character development took is from being this person, like, because she was so alone, she had this immense burden of perceived responsibility on her shoulders, where like, not only am I responsible for everything, but every time anything goes wrong, it is a personal failure on my part. And like, not being able to see any nuance in that, and like we kind of see that sense of nuance refining a lot, especially because that kind of acceleration didn't really get fast until season 3, like the end of season 3, like Lux Gallen arc specifically.
Because that was like when she finally got to heal the last of her trauma.
Yeah.
Like that was when she got to unpack like the last secret that she hadn't told anybody.
Yeah, and like in a way, like that was a solidifying of like finally her being able to trust people, and also of her, like, because of her finally having the guts to trust people with that, hearing their feedback of like, no, this was not your fault. Like none of this was a personal failing of yours, and like you are not less of a person or like less responsible of a person because this horrible thing happened to you. Like,
I think it's very interesting that Sabine started out being somebody that was so dedicated to seeking truth while simultaneously not trusting anyone with her secrets. Like, I think that's very fun.
Well, and especially because of the side of the Beacon Schism that she was on, which was the one that was about, disseminating truth to people. Which I think morally she believed in, but like personally and emotionally, because of her trauma, like she was just so closed off that it was like this thing. She moved to be more in line with her morals, I think, by the end of everything, because she did very much morally believe that like the truth is a universal concept that everybody should be allowed access to. Like she really did believe that. It wasn't just something that was pressed upon her by her parents, or through the schism or anything like that. She really honestly believed it. But she conducted herself in a way that was kind of contrary to her own beliefs, and I think her character arc can be best summed up by like her conduct coming more into line with her personal belief system over time.
Well, because she had the ability to kind of rectify that moral mismatch, because like somebody in the chat said something about going from barely floating upon self-destructive PTSD to actually loving and thriving. Like, I would
argue that she wasn't self-destructive, but she definitely had some post-traumatic stress going on.
Yeah. I feel like she was personally and interpersonally self-destructive for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of it was like conscious though, because like the whole thing with the captain was because like that was just pure trauma response. And so
I think it was very unconscious, but like she did blow up a lot of her personal experiences, like personal experiences, personal relationships.
She blew up her relationship with the captain. She on what, like a word from Defiance, she blew up her fucking marriage. At the first sign of, I can't trust this person. She just fucking blew up her marriage. She blew up her relationship with Florian. She blew up her relationship with Sid. Like,
Sid also contributed.
That was a mutual explosion. But
she decided that there was no saving that. Like, she very much, at the first sign of her not being able to make everything good and fine and okay, she just cut people off. Which was
well, and especially her definition of good and fine and okay. Because we saw in Lux Gallen arc, like, she was so broken up about the idea of not being able to bring her family home that she, like, in a way, it was kind of a selfish thing. Like, in a way, she selfishly, like, did not consider... They don't want to be here. Like,
and we saw her repairing a lot of her relationships, like starting with the captain, and then when she had that big fight with Fee and with Florian, she repaired a lot of that, and then culminating in the whole thing with Sid. So it's good.
We love Sabine
so much. I love Sabine so much. Anyway.
We are going to go long. We're on the first question. We're 39 minutes in.
Yeah. This is the long one.
We're in for the long haul, besties.
Here we are. Next
Ravane.
Okay.
My bestie, my beloved, my scrunkly.
Ravane.
He's my pal. He's my best
He's
friend.
my pal. He's my best friend. Ravane started off a lot like Kaleza. He started off very isolated and very naive, and like I think he started off very anxious about the world, both what it would do to him because he was raised by somebody with really intense PTSD, and what he would do to it because like with the whole mushroom curse, he was anxious about that and like how other people would react to that, and like he was anxious about not fitting into the world, I think, a lot, which #autism moment. But like I think it was a lot of anxiety of like I am not suited for the world and the world is not suited for me.
Which is why I love his and Leo's friendship so much. Because like, I get that, like, being friends with Leo circumstantially got him into a lot of bad shit. Like, his proximity to Leo did lead to a lot of bad shit happening to him. Kidnapped twice. But, like, as far as, like, being concerned about, like...
got him a girlfriend, so...
Yeah, but, like, yeah, as far as, like, being, like, anxious and concerned about, like, not fitting in the world and, like...
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. Like, what better person to be friends with than this, like, fucking... This... awful little rich boy.
Awful little twink that goes anywhere he wants.
And does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And like, somehow things manage to work out.
The social equivalent of just jumping in the deep end of the pool when it's freezing out. You know?
I love that. Their friendship means so much to me.
Yeah, and, like, I think he very much wanted to get out of his shell and wanted to see the world and, like, wanted to feel that he was capable and connected and able to go about his life in the way that he wanted to.
Something out there from Hunchback of Notre Dame playing in the background.
Again, #autism. but, like, I feel like a lot of that was, like, him wanting to feel like something was under his control and like wanting to feel that he was the person that was controlling his life. And I think by the time he gets like his first steps out of the tower were huge and brave. Like his steps with Leo to like get the mushroom thing under control and like to get that under his control and not something that happened
and to trust Leo with it too.
Yeah, like it was very much a metaphor for his life at that point. Like, it was something that happened to him involuntarily, that he didn't ask for and never wanted, but that he was stuck with and that he had an adversarial relationship with. And, like, it was something inherent to him as a person. Again, autism moment. But, like, by the end, we see him handling it. We see him, like, managing his emotions with Verity's help because he trusts Verity and he loves Verity. Like, and we see him learning to self-regulate in that way and like accepting this thing that is inherent to him that he can't change, and like we see him traveling the world
and thriving.
And thriving. We see him opening himself up to new experiences. Like in the epilogue, we see him literally just going around the world with his best friend and her boyfriend and the boyfriend's little shitty little brother. Yeah. We see him going to places he's never fucking been before and just going there to learn and to
help out.
Yeah, and to help out and like
and
going
also,
there to go there. Like
well, and also like he finds his place in the world not only by traveling the world, but like also has like a wonderful relationship and a family by the end of it. Like
Aries is here. Hi. Hi. We were commenting on the fact that you left that message in our chat an hour before we went live.
Hola, bitch, que pasa?
Anybody who's back watching this, please check Aries out on social media.
At the Last
Faith
Bastion.
Fucking rocks.
Faith rules.
Anyway, hi Aries. Aries says Faith thought we were starting. God.
Well, welcome. We're going insane because we got asked a question about everybody's character arcs.
Yeah, we got asked about everybody's character arc, so we're just going.
So yeah, but but back to Ravane. Yeah, I think it's wonderful that he like not only ends by traveling around the world, but like also has like this wonderful stable like family unit. Man has 2 whole kids by the end of everything.
And the fact that they named their first kid Journey, like I think they named them like very much in the naming scheme of Verity's people because like they are a small people who are not, a lot of their culture is like dying out, and I think that was important to Verity. But like the fact that their first kid was Journey was like very important to both of them, and like since both of their character arcs were so much about getting out of their shells and about exploring the world, like I think that was really important.
The beast has been unleashed.
The beast is unleashed.
It's really hot in bedrooms.
That's fine. Yeah, you can come chill out here.
Everybody say hi, Chelsea. Okay,
it's very hot where we live, and this is the only room with air conditioning. So.
It's hot. Aries says hi.
Hi, Aries. I miss you.
Yeah. Okay. Next person. Oh, Celica. Celica and Talindra kind of had the same character arc. Aries says, famous YouTube. She just got really excited.
The only difference is that Celica ended her character arc with a girlfriend.
Yeah. Which, you know what? Talindra doesn't want to date, and that's valid
for
her. Somebody else in the chat just yelled Chelsea with like 5 exclamation points.
Hello, friends.
Nobody here is fans of us. Everybody's just fans of Chelsea, and we're incidental.
As it should be.
As it should be.
I'll be
I'm
right
here
back.
often, so it's exciting when I am.
But yeah, Celica and Talindra, a lot of their arc, because they had basically the same arc, which it was a fine line, like differentiating them from each other, but also like tying them together, because like fundamentally as a system, like that was kind of an important line to walk. But a lot of their character arc ended up being very much the same, of like, especially in Talindra's case, of like learning to let go and learning to let other people, and especially Ravane, be responsible for themselves. It's very similar to Sabine's arc of like accepting that you are not responsible for everything, and a lot of like getting over destructive PTSD, as somebody in the chat said. Like it very much was like they were both so worried about protecting this kid that they had taken responsibility for and that they loved, that like they ended up smothering him and making him very unprepared for the world.
Very anxious.
And very anxious. Yeah. Like, Ravane is a bundle of anxieties, especially at the beginning of the campaign. But, like, it very much was, like, this thing that they needed to learn to let go and learn to accept that, like, not everything was either of their responsibilities. And, like, we see it even with Talindra, like, we've talked about, like, her time in Volder, she was, like, doing vigilante shit. Like, it very much was, like... And
Talindra became the Batman.
And in a tower, she was doing vigilante shit. Like, the Red Lady was very much a coping mechanism with the responsibility that she felt for everybody and everything. And, like, it was very much learning to let go and learning to take things as they come, and, like, learning to let other people help them out, because, like, we saw that with Celica and Adana.
Yeah, and, like, her Talindra's dynamic with Leo was something that was really important to me, too, because it started off as, like, so adversarial, and, like, by the end, they weren't besties or anything, but, like, I think they had a very, like, healthy respect for each other by the end of everything.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said, first, Chelsea showing up like a deep-sea fish being spotted sometimes. So true. And then Talindra Batman comparisons, I trip and fall. So true. Talindra basically was Batman. That's all the Red Lady was. I did that
without the money. Batman without the money.
Batman without the money.
Daredevil. Talindra was Daredevil.
Yes. The Red Lady is Daredevil. But, like, because I gave Talindra the folk hero background. But, like, it very much was a story about learning to let go and learning to stop self-isolating because of PTSD. Like, that was a lot of their thing for both of them. And we saw, like, with Celica and Adana, like, their relationship was very much mutual support and mutual healing. And, like, we saw them, like, Leo and Ravane telling them both, hey, locking yourselves away is not really great for your mental health.
Maybe get out there.
Maybe, like, figure out something to do that is fulfilling for you. And
they started a school, and they have a wizard
really
artisan school now. And
yeah, we came up with that, and we're like both bawling.
Love wins.
We're like, love wins. Oh goodness.
Verity. Okay.
Arave.
Okay.
The list is long. Oh my god, we're gonna go long today.
Yeah, we're gonna go very long today. Well, this is our last chance to really get it all out. Man, Arave. I feel like her main character development arc has been to come out of the woods, to stop hiding.
Yeah.
She cut herself off from so much for so long.
As I said, these are the themes of a lot of arcs because it's what the show is about.
out of fear of, number one, something physically bad happening to her because, like, both sides of the Beacon Schism wanted her dead.
Yeah.
And I just think also just in a social sense, she was very, again, same kind of issue that Sabine had. We promise nobody is hurting Woody. He's just getting his dinner prepared for him.
And he cries.
And he cries like he's being beaten with sticks. But he is fine.
He is fine. He is sitting in the kitchen and crying at Chelsea because she's not making his dinner fast enough.
But yeah, I think Arabe and Sabine had kind of similar character arcs of just not trusting anybody.
Yeah. And, like, that was a lot of what the Beacon Schism did to everybody.
It made everybody completely mistrustful of everybody else because that was literally
Somebody said he's full of personality and vitriol about our dog. So
he's
true.
He's too stupid to have vitriol.
That's true.
He's not smart enough to be malicious.
Continue, Eric.
But yeah, I think you're right that's what the Beacon Schism did to a lot of people because that was literally this big bloody cataclysm of like people who had previously been friends and family even like the Javarises were not the only Beacon family. We had talked about the fact that the Enmars were a long storied Beacon family too, and like Arabe's fucking parents turned on each other.
Yeah,
like
they were on opposite sides of the schism.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that was very much something that affected her of like, oh, these were two people that loved each other more than anything in the world, and then this happened and they turned on each other like that. Like, it very
So
much,
what's the point?
So what's the point? Yeah, like, it very much, and I think a lot of, like, the manifestation of how much she learned to kind of recover from that and kind of come back from that was her living with Ravane and Verity and Celica and Talindra for a while, and the fact that she was willing to leave Phineas with other people, and her relationship with Florian, because, like, very much, like, we joke about, like, Florian, their courtship was very unorthodox, and we know Florian came off as really pushy, but it very much was, like, he took the time to understand both the things that she needed and the things that would be useful to her, and the fact that she couldn't take them as straightforward gifts, because she needed something, like, she needed to be able to brush off the gratitude by being annoyed at something.
He understood that Arabe was tsundere.
Yeah.
And he played into it.
Shut the fuck up. I hate your ass. Weep.
Arabe voice. Shh.
I'm going to kill you. Anyway.
And he loved that about her, and he worked it into his courtship rituals, and that was very cute.
I think that's most of our principal cast, except the captain, who we will go over. But, okay, Verity, next. Yes.
Verity is just learning learning that you're a badass, I think.
Well, and she had a lot of the same themes as Ravane of, like, getting out of her shell and proving herself capable.
And being a very sheltered kid whose, like, mom
Which is why they worked.
Yeah, whose mom was kind of a helicopter parent. And like wanted to go out on her big adventure and see the world. Like, she was less focused on seeing the world and more focused on proving herself.
Yeah, but I think there also was a lot of that naivete of, like, she
had no fucking idea. Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a big adventure, I'm going to prove myself, and the world is my oyster, and then, like, by the end, she had to kind of ground herself in the reality, in the reality of, like, the world is harsh, and I need to kind of toughen up to deal with it, and, like, this is how I prove myself capable. Somebody in the chat said, I think you got a little confused about Verity's epilogue. Verity, my everything. She's not running the school, but she's the high priestess of Kiva, and she's a healer, and she's fucking officiating Leo and Zed's wedding.
Because she's the high priestess of Kiva.
Because she's the high priestess
of Kiva. But no, Adana and Celica are the ones running the school.
Sorry. Sorry about that. We know that seems kind of fast. But yeah, very much, like, it was very much her learning, like, yes, the world is your oyster, but, like, you kind of have to acknowledge that, like, things are not all puppies and rainbows. Like, you have to buckle down.
Yeah, I think she really did earnestly believe that everything was all puppies and rainbows, and like Stormbringer magic is gonna fix it all. Like she like, speaking of people that started out naive, like Verity started out very, very very
and she had to like learn a lot about how rough things are, but I think that never really like tamped down her optimism the whole way.
No, I think she started out with main character syndrome and then like figured out partway through like, oh, I'm not the main character.
I'm not the main character of life.
Verity very much thought that she was the main character, like all through season 1 and 2.
Yeah. And I think a lot of her growth is like moving outside of that very self-centered view, like, and
not that she's selfish,
selfish, but like her view of life was very like focused on herself and like her own goals. And I think
because she got shoehorned into being like the next high priestess of that entire
huge responsibility,
just like foisted on her when Defiance fucked off.
And I think like a lot of her journey was about being worthy of that responsibility and getting to the point where she could accept it and be cool with it.
Yeah, because she had a lot of self-doubt, too. Like, if you listen to her big thing in Off the Rails, she's like, I get that I'm not smart or talented or the best person for the job. Yeah. And then we find her at the end and she's the freaking high priestess of Keva.
Yeah. You said that in exactly the same voice as Leo did in the epilogue. It was really good. Verity. Oh, and then Mia. A lot of Mia's arc was going from like they've been around for like thousands and thousands of years. They're 50,000 years old.
They're 75,000.
75,000 years old. I'm sorry. They're 75,000 years old, and like that makes a person very nihilistic and very cavalier with mortal life. And I think a lot of that was like Mia was just walking through life basically collecting a paycheck and like very much just, okay, I have very specific tasks. I will do those tasks. I do not care about anyone. I am just going to do what I have to do and keep moving. And like, I think growing to care about Fen and to care about people in general because they started to bond with Fen and like understand that he had the same trauma that they have. Like, Mia's arc was very much about learning to be a person that could cohabitate with other people again.
Yeah, and I think they like learned to care about other people like through the lens of just caring about them through Fen. Yeah. Like, I think they learned to care about Fen first, and then it was like, okay, well, these are the people that Fen cares about. Yeah. So I need to care about them too. Yeah.
Like, it very much was an arc of just like remembering how to be a person after so long being forced to be this immortal being that just moved through the world and couldn't really touch anybody's life because they all fucking died. And like, I think that was a very real fear because Mia has trauma centering on a romantic partner dying and on a lot of their family dying. Like, I think that is something that was a source of trauma for Mia, and learning to open up again and being a person again and caring about people again was like the realization of that arc, you know?
Yeah, and we do see a softer version of Mia in the epilogue. Like, they fucking do jigsaw puzzles now, and they went to a bakery and got fee pastries.
And they lived with their boyfriend.
They went to a bakery and got fee pastries because they knew that she probably wouldn't like Fen's greasy breakfast food.
And because I think very honestly, the last person that Mia tried to care about was Justice Valzine. And like for 10,000 years. And then she died just like everybody else had fucking died. And like for 10,000 years, Mia didn't give a shit about anybody. And then Fernandris Tormare had very similar trauma to them and needed to be picked up off a battlefield.
And learn how to use conditioner.
And they made the choice to care again. And I think that's really good. Okay, the captain. We've already gone over the villains. Do we have to go over...
Not today. We could do that during Omegaroth because we'll be doing Q&As for Omegaroth. So
So we've got the Captain, Sora, and Nora Adana.
Okay. Oh man, the Captain. The thing about the Captain is that he didn't grow that much.
He did.
He didn't need to. He was perfect already.
Chelsea has spoken.
Chelsea, #1 Captain stan, confirmed.
Chelsea likes the Captain a lot.
Chelsea likes the Captain a whole lot. That's her
favorite
man.
characters are the captain and Adana. But the captain did grow a lot because of, like, he started off in a very similar place to Sabine of being burned by their relationship.
Yeah, I think he was not as, like, broad about not trusting people, though. But that's, I think by nature of his career, like, he really couldn't be that distrustful. Like, he had the whole fleet under him. Like, if he was paranoid and distrustful, that would have been... but he was paranoid and distrustful of Fee, but, like... Because she was connected to Sabine. Like, I think he had more specific triggers to it than, like, holistically just distrusting people. But it was very much an arc of learning to trust people, and, like, he learned to trust you, as in his sister, capital Y-U. God, her name is so fucking crazy. But he learned to trust her not to cut him off, like, when he revealed the truth to her, and she didn't. And, like... I think he learned to stop seeing himself as inherently a disappointment. I think he did have a bit of a complex about that, like, especially related to his trauma with, like, being an acolyte and leaving, like, and because of everything that happened with his little sister getting pulled into his job, you know, like, it was. I think that was a big trauma for him, was believing that he was a disappointment and believing that he had let his community down, and that he had to make up for it somehow. That he had to make up for the crime of being himself and pursuing his own goals. Like, I think that was very much something that he had to learn to grow. At the beginning, he was very much, he was resigned, I think, to this idea that he was always going to be an outcast in his own community, but, like, also, it didn't stop him from, like, he was trying so hard to not be. Like, I love the captain. Okay, and then Soren didn't have much of an arc, per se, but I think, like, it was very important to me to get to the end point with Soren and to give him a good ending. And give him closure. Give him closure. Like, it was very important to me to acknowledge... It was important to acknowledge that as a person, a lot of what defined him was his capacity to love and, like, his capacity to do what was right for the people he loved. Like, that was a lot of who he was, and it was important to me to acknowledge that and, like, to have him consciously choose not to be angry, because we've talked a lot about righteous anger and, like, how it is important in a lot of situations to be angry about injustice, but, like... But when you're dead, like, what good is being angry to you? And also, we saw other characters choose being angry over the people that they love. We saw Moreland choose being angry over the people that he loved. And, like, that was the main thing that made him the villain of the whole campaign. And, like, having Soren as the counterpoint to that, and having him say, no, I will not choose to be angry and choose to be bitter and choose to stew over the wrongs that have been done to me over the people that I love. Like, I choose to hold on to how much I love people. Yeah. It's just, somebody in the chat said, sometime I really just feel like the whole potatoes can go back to Soren and his themes, and I love that. By potatoes, do you mean podcast? I like the whole potatoes. The whole potatoes. That's a new idiom just dropped. I like that. Like, Soren was a person and not just a death, and he showed it through and through. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The person that said that said, no, more like the show. No, I like potatoes. I like the whole potatoes. That is my new favorite idiom that has entered my vocabulary. The whole potatoes. The whole potatoes. But yeah, it was important to us to give Soren closure, even though he didn't really have enough screen time to have a full arc. But, like, his presence was so felt throughout so much of the show that it was important to give him closure in the end. Yeah, and I like that we acknowledged both his love and his anger. Because, like, he came right out of the gate in episode 1 saying, you know, like, everything I do is for love. But then, like, 3 episodes later, we got oops. Like, he was a deeply angry person, and he was right to be, but, like, the fact that he shows love was really important. I'm proud of the first scene of the epilogue, even though it made us cry for 2 hours. Yeah. Okay.
Next, Nora. Nora and Adana kind of had smaller arcs, but we do want to talk about them too.
Nora, I mean, this will make more sense after the Overgrowth episodes come out.
Yeah.
Nora has a lot of guilt about the fact that Moreland was allowed to do the things that he did.
Yeah.
Because Nora, to a big degree, was complicit in Moreland doing the things that he did, even though she didn't know about it.
Yeah, I feel like complicit.
Complicit is the wrong word, like, but she was related to it and like has a lot of self-blame issues with it.
I have hiccups.
No, you don't. Prove it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just keep hiccuping. That'll be fine. Fun Q&A. Yeah. Okay. But yeah.
Yeah, Nora. It started out her arc, especially like after Leo because Nora's like arc really started in podcast after Leo and Fee came back into her life, and like once she got that information about what had actually happened to Valoran, and like again, this will make so much more sense when the Overgrowth episodes come out.
Nora. We'll talk more about Nora and Adana after the Overgrowth.
But like, she had a lot of self-blame going on about like, oh my gosh, how much of Moreland's bullshit have I enabled? Like,
and like
how much blood is on my hands? How deep does my involvement on this go?
Yeah, and I think by the end, she had kind of come to an understanding of.
You were not responsible for the ways that people have taken advantage of you. Like to quote Fee,
that was a big theme of the show in general. Was like, you are not responsible for the ways that people have taken advantage of you. That was really important to us. And Adana's arc, because she was only around for like 6 episodes, so we had to kind of
speed run it.
But like a lot of it was just healing from shit that had been done to her, and it was about like being permanently damaged and permanently scarred by the things that have happened to you, but
because she's never going to fully never going to fully get better. Like Adana is never going to be normal again.
And that's not what it's about. Like it like that does not matter in comparison to the fact that she is able to reclaim the parts of her life that matter to her. Like she is able to have a relationship with her son
and her grandchildren.
Like she is able to have fulfilling relationships. She is able to do her work that is fulfilling for her.
She took back everything Moreland took from her. Essentially, Like she's battered and bruised by it and has to find some workarounds for it.
But everything that
he took from her, she got back. Yeah.
And also she got to break his jaw.
It was his nose. She broke his nose. Yeah.
She got to break his fucking nose. And that was good. Okay, that's the arcs. And now we go on to our second question from our Patreon.
That was a big question.
So we got a second question, which was, who was the hardest character in the campaign to act as, whether for getting the voice right or responding in character as?
Oh, there's so many, like 3-4-way ties for this. Voice-wise, the captain, I think, for both of us. Because the accent.
Just yelled the second, I know. The rest of them are shorter. That was really long.
It was literally like, talk about every character's character arc. Like, that's a big
We're going to run long today.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
LOL, says Aries.
Yeah, the rest of these are way shorter. But yeah, as far as voice acting goes, the captain for sure.
Oh my god, the captain was so hard. The captain's accent was hard to hold on to, and like
it got really easy in season 2 because we were both doing it so much.
Yeah,
but like once we got into season 3, where like the captain wasn't around as much, and we were like out of the Zephyriles, we just came to this realization that it was like. We fucking forgot how to voice the captain.
I had the same problem with Eleonora when Eleonora got back. I had not voiced Eleonora in so long.
I was about to say Eleonora was number 2 for both of us as far as voice acting.
Well, because you hadn't voiced Eleonora at all by
ever. Yeah.
But like by the time she came back in season 2, we had to like go back and listen to the early episodes for me to figure out how I had done Eleonora's voice. I lost it while she was gone. It was, oh my god.
And then, like, once she got back, you kept getting it confused for Aedra because their register, their nasality was so close.
Yeah. So that was difficult. Eleanor was really easy at the beginning of the podcast, and then by the time she came back, it was just, I lost it. So that was difficult.
So yeah, I would say voicing-wise, the captain and Eleonora were the 2 hardest
You had problem with Zed. You had problems with Zed.
I had a, yeah.
You kept trying to make Zed a little more nasal than he is, because, like, Zed just kind of talks, like, he's
and also
like, up here, and he talks that corner.
And I also made Zed more articulate than he is, because
You are allergic to mumbling.
I am allergic to mumbling. I'm a very articulate person, so,
you tried to do the Zed voice, and it was very much, like, it was, like, very crisp, even though you were trying to talk out of the corner of your mouth, we're, like,
Zed but making fancy.
You were trying to keep Zed, like, very fancy. Whereas, like, Zed doesn't mumble. He kind of slurs. Yeah. But, so voice-wise...
Yeah.
Voice-wise, all of those.
Responding in character. Oh, man. That was harder with... Well, that's the thing. As far as responding in character goes, like, we view this whole show pretty much through Fee and Leo's narrative lens. Like, there are those, off-the-wall moments where we get, like, Kimberl and Kiva, or we get, like, Evander and Justice, or we get, like... We had, like, small cutaways to, like, Moreland and Alasha during a couple episodes.
Yeah, during, like, the last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
But, like, responding in character... Oh, man.
I feel
Leo Zed was always very organic. I never felt like...
Really
easy. Fee-Kiel was always very organic. We never had any issues with that.
I feel like I had issues trying to do Arabe's responses to things, even though I didn't voice Arabe a lot, but, like, I had issues trying to, like, get the delivery and, like, the specific mentality of Arabe, just because I didn't voice her very often.
Yeah, and I mean, Arabe was kind of a hard
nut to crack.
A hard nut to crack, just because she was so cagey about everything.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it was definitely Arabe. It was the hardest to get her characterization down, just because I didn't play her that often. I also had a little bit of trouble with Fen. Yeah. I had trouble with... Yeah, I think most of our trouble came from playing, like, what we would consider to be each other's characters that were outside of, like, our characters and the love interests. Because I feel like we had a really good grip on all of those people. Yes.
Because we had done so much character work on them, but when it came down to me, like, playing... I would say Ravane was really hard for me to characterize. Because it was like, I've never fucking had to play this person before.
Most of his interactions were with Leo.
I think the answer for, like, as far as, like, who it was harder to respond in character with, anytime that we're playing, like, each other's characters.
Anytime that we're playing the other PC's best friend. Other than
you did a really good job with Kalessa, though.
I was proud of what I did with Kalessa, but, like, other than Kalessa.
But we have a good grip on Kalessa, because Kalessa is basically just my wife.
Kalessa is Chels.
We base Kalessa's characterization, voice, everything pretty much on my wife.
Kalessa is Chels. So we both had a good grasp on Kalessa. So that was our second question. Oh my god. Okay. Talk about Fee and Leo's arcs and their lives in the epilogue, separate from the rest if possible, because this was the same person that asked about all the other character arcs. So,
okay, Fee, go.
I feel like, again, a lot of Fee's arc was about trust, and was about, like, a lot of it was about trusting herself and, like, trusting her own worth as a person, and, like, the fact that she was worth prioritizing, because she has that whole conversation with Fen in season 1. Like, their big fight is, like,
no one has ever picked me.
Yeah, no one has ever picked me, and, like, a lot of that came back to her trauma with her mom, and, like...
It even carried it into her trauma with Alasha, too, because, like, they had that whole fight about, like, you have never picked me. Like,
And, like, she started to grow out of that at, like, the beginning of season 2, because she and Leo started picking each other and prioritizing each other, and, like, I think that was a big turning point for her. I think when she briefly died was a big turning point for her in that respect, and, like, her whole relationship with the captain, and then her relationship with Sabine once they were on a more steady footing, and, like, I think it's the difference between her having that fight with Fen and that resignation of no one has ever picked me, and, like, her being able to confront Alasha with, you have never chosen me, I'm going to go with the people who have. You know, like, I think that was a big part of Fee's character arc, and, like, I think that was just a lot of her own self-worth and her own ability to be in control of her life and ability to pursue the things that she wanted, regardless of what anybody else thought about it. like, I think that was a big part in her arc, and I think, like, what I said in the epilogue of, like, every title she has ever had and every, like, grand plan she has ever been a part of was forced on her, and she decided that she didn't want that, and she decided what she did want, and she pursued it. Like, and I think that was a big step for her. I love her a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the fact that we get to see her basically just being an active member in a community at the end of everything. Like, like, you know, she's working with the Pirate King and the Zephyriles, and she's working. But
even that is like mutual aid stuff.
And she's working with the head person at the Beacon.
Yeah, but she is not the person in charge.
Yeah, she's not in charge. Yeah, she's not in charge of shit, and she doesn't have to be.
She doesn't have to be. Yeah, she can just go with her friend down to the docks and help rebuild the city that she's come to love. Like, it is very special to me that, like, she does not need to be in charge, and she does not have to be in the center of things to be important and to contribute to the things that are important to her. Somebody in the chat said, Ferrara, my literally everything. I will have such a hard time being over her. Always on my brain, this funny purple lady is. So true.
Mood.
Okay, Leo arc, go.
Leo arc. Leo was a bastard at the beginning of this
Leo
series.
sucked in season 1.
Leo sucked in season 1.
That was the point of season 1. Leo, that he sucked.
He was such a little shithead in season 1.
And like, a lot of that, I feel like a lot of that was because of his trauma, and because, like, the man had borderline personality disorder. He was having a hard time, and he was closed off because of that.
Yeah.
But, like, he also sucked.
Yeah.
Separate from that, he sucked.
Oh,
he was a spoiled little rich boy.
Oh, like, we watched him in, like, what, like, episode 4 be like, I'm gonna go manipulate this 10-year-old.
Yeah, he sucked. He sucked. He sucked. He sucked, and that was the point of him. But
yeah.
But yeah.
But I think that makes it better. Like, the fact that he was so shitty at the beginning, like, watching him grow into this person who, like, at the beginning, like, not to grant any legitimacy to anything that Moreland Valsine has ever said, but, like, was kind of being pissy about having something taken away from him that, like, he had no scope of. He had no idea of what it would be like to rule a country or anything like that.
He just wanted it because he wanted it.
He wanted it because he thought it was his. And he perceived it as a slight because the old man's transphobic, which, like, partially it was. Yeah. But, like, also he really wasn't ready. And, like, we see him acknowledge that in season 3 when he has that confrontation with Moreland where he was like, you were right. Like, I wasn't ready for it. Yeah. But also, fuck you, stab.
But also, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're a shitty person and a despot.
Yeah. And seeing him... Stab, magic. And then seeing him grow to realize, like, I think Eleonora was a huge part of that because Eleonora had such a, like, strong moral view on what being a leader.
This Q&A is going to be so long. Oh my god.
Okay. It is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I know. Sorry to people that are back watching. We know it's long.
Yeah, but
it is the campaign wrap up.
I think that knowing Eleonora was, like, such a huge part of that because, like, she actually was the person that told him, like, no, you're not what a leader looks like. What you look like is a punk ass bitch. Like,
you can be better.
You can be better, but you're not now.
Yeah. Like, I think a lot of their dynamic in the beginning of the campaign was Eleonora feeling the responsibility that she had and going and, like, projecting it onto Leo a lot of, like, no, you have to be able to be better because I have to be able to be good enough to take this, and, like, I need to believe that you can also be good enough, and, like, because I like you, so we need to, like be on the same footing. Yeah, like, I think. Yeah,
I think it was the combination of, well, both Eleonora and Ravane, like, constantly challenging him to be better. Ravane was, like, constantly challenging him to be better.
Yeah, and I think, like, with Zed, it was very much a mutual thing of we both need to be better, but, like, Eleonora and Ravane were very much ready to call Leo to task.
Yeah, whereas with Zed, it was more like there was that it was the balance of, like, Eleonora and Ravane continually calling him to task versus Zed offering him, like, unconditional unconditional love and support. Like, yeah, I get that you're in an ugly place right now, but I love you anyway. Like, Yeah.
I love.
And then Leo's whole arc has been, especially like the later part of his arc, is about the idea. I've done this as a repeating theme, and Al has too. The idea of picking up more power and more responsibility when you need to, because you need to, and knowing when to put it down.
Yeah.
And knowing when to let it go.
Yeah, because we knew from very early on that like this was where we wanted Leo's character arc to end, was him dissolving the monarchy and going on to be domestic and have a family. Like, we didn't know who he was going to end up with at the very beginning. Like, it was kind of up in the air, but
we knew that, like, if we just ended the plot with Leo, becomes the Archduke, and everything keeps going the way that it was. Like, that
would have been bad.
That's not a satisfying ending. That's like personal revenge for Leo, and like no healing. And,
and that wasn't what we wanted.
And not what he needed, and not what Australia needed. Like, yes.
For sure.
So we knew that it was always going to end up, we knew that there was always going to be a character point of this idea of taking on power and letting it go, which, like, as we refined it, it ended up being like, oh, that's the thing that a Lander Valsine could not do. He could not pick up more power and let it go when it was time. And, like, that idea of the generational healing is the same thing with Moreland. Moreland picked up more power and couldn't let it go.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of, like, taking responsibility and letting go of the position that you needed to make things better. Like, taking the responsibility to make things better and then letting go of the privilege that position offers to you. Like, that was very much...
Yeah, so, like, the healing that we got with Leo's endgame of that was, like, because at the end of that, like, after he had fulfilled that duty and fulfilled, like, because of the fucking horrors that the Valsine bloodline has visited upon Australia for 10,000 years, the shit that he was obligated to fix because he was the only one that could.
Yeah.
But after he did that, he actually got to think about what he wanted, and what he wanted was to have a home and to be a home for the people that he loved, and that's where we find him at the end. And I'm really happy about it.
Yeah. Our next question was talk about the finale. We've talked so much
about the finale.
How are we feeling about it? I'm assuming they mean the ending, because they just said, how are we feeling about Compelled? Oh, God.
Soft.
The fact that it's over is a lot. It's very overwhelming, because we've been working on this pretty constantly for 2 years. Like, we did it.
Yeah, we have a couple more bonus episodes to record, but it's like that's all gravy at this point.
Yeah, we did it. We got to the end. It's very much. I don't think it's hit me yet.
It hit me the other night, and I cried for a really long time.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's over. We did it. Holy shit.
Yeah, like the idea, like what hit me the other night and made me start crying was that I'm never going to get to play Leo again unless it's like in a home game or something else. Yeah. Like that hit me really hard.
Yeah. Just oof.
Yeah, we feel some kind of way is all we can say, but we
feel ways.
Play more home games. Aries, come closer. We're a normal podcast. Listen to the campaign and then come get into a home game with us.
Come get into a home game with us again, Aries. Yeah. Somebody else in the chat just said weeps. So true. I want to play home games again. We haven't been able to play, because Aries is in the chat, I'm going to say, we haven't been able to play a home game because we had a long-running home game with Aries before COVID, and we haven't been able to do a home game since, and it is so sad.
Because we've been making this fucking podcast.
Yeah, but also because COVID. A bitch is immunocompromised, but yeah, God. And then we got asked things you wish you could have included that you just couldn't squeeze in.
We wish we had the forethought to make a fucking blooper reel.
The fact that that's the first thing you brought up. We had a lot of outtakes that were very funny. Moreland voice, unparalleled, unrivaled.
And it's gone forever.
Moreland voice,
So, plot-wise, I'm sad that we didn't get our fucked up most dangerous game wizard.
Yeah, I'm sad about the wizard. I'm sad
about the train heist that we lost.
I'm sad. We had a lot in the epilogue that we were going to make a little more bittersweet. Like, we had we had some things planned with, like, fucked up shit with Leo and the island of, like, Leo still sleepwalks, and we were gonna, like, carry on the theme of you get better and you heal from your trauma, but it is never gone, and we were going to carry that a lot more into the epilogue, and we ended up just losing it, just because we had other stuff to do in the epilogue, and that was sad.
Well, and also the ghosts were gone.
The ghosts were gone. Like, it ended up working better and flowing better with that cut, but that was something we had talked about a lot, and it was something that would have been a good theme.
It would have been good, but just the way things played out, it didn't make it in.
Barry said, train heist? Yeah, we had a train heist plan for season 3, and we couldn't keep it.
We had a plot point that we had pitched.
Yeah.
That because Moreland was tied to the ghost hole as the Archduke, that he could also see the ghost.
Yeah, we had pitched that.
Which meant that, like, he saw Valoran in season 3, episode 6.
Yeah, specifically when Val was on the boat. Like, we had pitched that. Like, that would be very fun, and we ended up not being able to keep it because it was just...
It would have taken too much time.
We wouldn't have been able to set
it.
Like, we didn't have time to set it up enough that it would have been good in the finale, but it would have been fun.
I still like to play with it in my head, though. It's very fun.
I had specifically, like, I was kind of playing him and Val in that episode that way, of, like, Val was on the boat and he was curling his hands over the chair. Like, I had in the back of my mind that it was, like, possible that Moreland was seeing that.
Moreland could, like, feel fingers against his shoulder.
And
like,
we ended up not being able to set it up, and we ended up not being able to keep it. But
but it's a very near and dear concept to our hearts.
It was really good. It was really good. We're so sad to have lost it. We would have liked to have gotten more time with all of our NPCs in season 3, but we had
more time in Oskaya.
So tight. More time in Oskaya. We had a lot more planned in Oskaya.
I feel like if we had planned it better, we could have gotten a whole other season out of this.
Yeah, but like it ended up like with the 3-act structure, it ended up not working.
Yeah,
like we had very set beginning and ending of seasons,
and it was set up in a 3-act structure. So breaking up a 3-act structure into 4 seasons
would have been rough.
Would have been really hard.
But like we wish we could have had more time for a few things. And we just ended up not having the time.
Yeah, I wish we could have had more time in Oskaya. I wish we had more time in, like, everywhere in Fogwalder, honestly.
I wish we had more time with Ruberry.
Yeah.
I like their endgame. I like what we got with them, but I wish we'd had a little more time with Ruberry.
Well, same thing with Ereve and Florian, too. Like, so many of those, like, side ships ended up... Yeah, so many of them, because of our narrative lens and because of the way that we do the podcast, you know, they got relegated. They got relegated to the background because...
Yeah, we wish we'd had more time, but, like, the story would not have flowed the way that it did if we had given ourselves more time.
Well, because to do it, we would have had to do more, like, narrative shifts like we did where we went between, like, Leo and Fee and, like, Moreland and Lasha.
So, just some stuff that we lost that would have been fun.
We had some good lines that ended up on the cutting room floor, though. Moreland voice was one of them.
Voice obsessed with it.
Zed voice, oh god, the twinks are unionizing.
When Leo and Florian were talking, we had to...
I like your hat. Thanks, your vibes are impeccable. And then Al in the Zed voice went, oh god, the twinks are unionizing.
And we cut it, and we had to cut it.
And
it was so sad. Just little things like that. We're going to keep a blooper reel, like, religiously for campaign 2.
There was a moment in Omegroth Part 1, which will be coming out publicly here in the next couple months. But where Moreland used the Finger of Death spell, which lets you kill somebody and reanimate them as a zombie on your next turn. And the zombie's attack is called Slam. So I sicked my zombie on a combatant, and in the Moreland voice, like without breaking character, I went, come on and slam. And welcome to the jam.
It was so dramatic. And the fact that it got cut made me so sad.
We had a lot of good lines that got cut and no blooper reel.
Yeah. We're going to keep a blooper reel, like, religiously for our next campaign because there's so much shit. Okay. Final thoughts. A lot of these questions are all kind of tied together. So we got asked, I'm going to read them all. Final thoughts, what do you do from here, as in what's the future of you guys as creators? Second question, so Desert Song, huh? Third question, talk about your funny ARG action. We talked about this a little bit at the beginning of, like, we are doing this ARG to kind of bridge the gap between campaigns. Very fun. We're going to be putting out, like we said, a lot of codes, a lot of audio snippets. Aries just yelled Desert Song. So true. Aries was involved in the home game
that sparked Desert Song. Yeah, essentially, yeah.
That I did all the world building for Desert Song.
Wait till we see. Wait until Aries sees what we replaced Fair character with.
We do have a nasty werewolf, but Aries just said we should let their PC show up in the game.
No, we have a replacement for your PC who is a nasty werewolf.
Less stinky, but is a nasty little werewolf. Yeah. Because she was just so important to us. Anyway. But yeah, Desert Song. We have the ARG going. We have, like we said, a lot of codes going up, a lot of audio snippets. We have some fun things for the Patreon, like we have an in-universe radio show that we're going to be dropping for our $3 patrons. To
both as playlists and audio files.
Yeah, as playlists and audio files. Like we have an in-universe radio show that we're going to be dropping a little bit of the world building in, so our patrons are kind of up to speed. And we're going to be doing some of that in the ARG, but
well, I mean, let's give them a little background on Desert Song. I think telling them the story of Desert Song, because we've talked about how we played Leo and Fee in a home game, at least 5-6 years ago at this point.
As far as Desert Song, the PCs and a lot of the NPCs for Desert Song are characters that we've been writing for most of our friendship, for 10 years.
For over 10 years at this point.
Yeah, over 10 years we've been writing the PCs. This is kind of the story that we've wanted to tell for a really long time. We wanted to tell the story of Campaign 1, obviously. Aries is just
yelling about bringing Fair PC back.
About bringing Fair PC into the fucking campaign. Aries, I am so fond of
But no, we don't have space. I'm sorry.
You have to keep her.
You have to keep her. We do have a wonderful, nasty little werewolf that you're gonna love, though.
Yeah. Aries says, I'm sorry, I love that campaign. I miss it every day. Us too.
Well, get ready to come back to it. I mean, well, it's going to be different because initially when we were playing it as a home game, it was a D&D campaign.
Yeah. But we're playing it on Monster of the Week. Yeah. Never be sorry, Aries. We love you. We were playing it as a D&D campaign, and now we're playing it as Monster of the Week for Desert Song. The concept of it was something I dreamed up. Yeah, Monster of the Week was something I dreamed up. It was very much based on the aesthetic of Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys.
Oh, since Aries is here, okay, and I think Faye know Monster of the Week. My character, the Spooky. Their character, Spellslinger.
Yeah, you know who we're playing.
You know who we're playing.
Just so you know. But yeah, it was very much based on the aesthetic of Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, and based on the fact,
a little bit.
Yeah, Mad Max a little bit, and Gravity Falls a little bit, and Welcome to Night Vale a little bit. It was very much kind of a hodgepodge of
Spooky Desert.
Spooky Desert. Spooky Desert, creepy shit.
Gotta figure out something that will match up syllabically with Spooky Mormon Hell Dream. Spooky Desert.
Stop. Anyway. But yeah, a lot of it I formulated as an excuse to give my players coded messages and to be weird, and to do weird ARG shit. So the concept of it is basically the world ends in 2012 via the veil between our world and a lot of fae shit and very thought form based shit falling. The entire magic system is basically if enough people believe in thing exists or thing happens. Yeah, it very much was based on that kind of idea. And you can imagine what that does to the world in a modern setting.
Still thinking about the fucking dialogue exchange. Do you want to do the dialogue exchange really quick?
No. We're saving it. We have a dialogue exchange plan.
That's going to be really good about the thought form thing and the idea of if enough people believe in something, it becomes true.
Aries says they played their PC that was in that game, in a Curse of Strahd game.
Oh, fun.
Good. She's gotten even more rancid. Good. She deserves it.
Good.
But yeah. Somebody in the chat said, "Oh, that makes the teaser very interesting." Actually,
you have no idea. You have no idea.
Exactly. You caught the line that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, our initial thought process for that was there were, I don't know how many people were cognizant of the internet and the news in 2012 that are listening to this.
People really did believe the world was going to end.
Yeah, we're old motherfuckers,
people
but like
really did believe
lots of people thought the world was going to end in 2012, and our like idea for this campaign was like the world didn't end, but the veil came down, and now the world is like a fey hellscape.
And it's like alternate history thing going from there. Like I said, very Welcome to Night Vale inspired, like that very much like magic realism type shit, but like modern and spooky.
There's also a lot that's going into it that is sourced through not only Irish Catholic but Celtic pagan beliefs, because
our PCs are both Irish Catholic.
Well, and I Barry the person am a Celtic Reconstructionist pagan, so like I get to do some fun fae shit with this.
But we have a lot of plans. Ooh, and Monster of the Week is a really good vehicle to tell the story we're trying to tell through. So it's very fun. But yeah, that's the basic world building, and like we're gonna get people caught up on the details through like the in-universe radio show we're gonna do for the $3 patrons.
Aries, stop lying to people.
Aries, stop it. Aries said, people who don't know, as someone who was in the campaign, it's going to be fun. Super fun, not traumatic, just a wholesome, easy campaign. Nothing bad happens ever. Aries says, I would never lie. You're lying.
You are lying, and it is going to get a lot more traumatic.
They're lying.
You are lying, and it is going to get a lot more traumatic than even you have experienced.
Stuff. We have stuff planned. But yeah, we're going to do the Universe Radio show for our $3 and up patrons. For our $5 and up patrons, in lieu of our usual bonus episodes, we're going to be putting out NPC introductions, like introductions to all of our main cast.
Via like found footage stuff.
We're going to be doing a lot of like found footage.
Yeah, stuff, if you've listened to the campaign teaser for Desert Song, like you've heard that it's very much like found footage that's incorporating a lot of like real life sound effects and things like that. We're going to be doing that for all of the major, both of our PCs and also all of our major NPCs. So,
if you've done any of the decoding for the ARG stuff, you know there's some Twin Peaks influence. Like it's very much.
I think eventually we should put out an influence list of like all of the horror media that we have on this, because so far we
have a list of things that we're gonna watch for inspiration. Like
most of it is Mike Flanagan shit. We know who we are.
Haunting of Hill House is a big inspiration.
Hill House, Midnight Mass, Okay,
but
was that our last question?
I think that was our last question.
Okay, so open question time. We're gonna give it
for like 10 minutes.
Like a 10-minute call. Like anything else you guys want to hear about Campaign 1. If you want to ask things about Campaign 2, we're going to have to be really careful.
We're going to be really careful. But yes. But yeah. Not somebody in the chat area said, I'm fascinated with how it'll translate.
Really well, actually.
Like, as we've been doing it, we were like, that works.
Yeah.
It's translated really well. Like, it's
mainly because we didn't take anybody from our home game explicitly except for Chelsea's character and our characters. Aries' character's girlfriend is going to be there, though. Just
not in a huge major role.
Not in a huge major way, but she is going to be there.
Also, Aries asked, how do you feel now that Campaign 1 is done?
Absolutely off the shits.
Goodness, it's done.
Sad.
A little sad. Satisfied. I'm happy with the story that we told.
I am. Yeah. I'm very happy with the story that we told. I'm happy with how we ended it, but it's like, man, like it's over
after 2 years. Oof. We're pretty happy.
I know nothing of Campaign 1 besides what y'all have told me for the art. You want to listen to Campaign 1
so bad.
You want to listen to Campaign 1 so bad. We have transcripts. If reading them would be easier, but you want to
told Aries all of this already, but we're excited for what comes next. We're a little sad that it's ended, and we're very satisfied with the story that we told. Again, I don't think it's hit me completely yet, but it's like, it's done. Aries asked, are y'all taking a break for? Yeah, because we're moving. We're taking at least a month off. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Aries was texting me earlier. We're probably gonna hang out before we move.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeet. We're taking a break. We're not recording anything till after we move, other than bonus episodes.
Then we have a couple bonus episodes we need to record.
But we're gonna get those.
Yeah, like as far as Campaign 2 goes, we're not touching.
Not until we get settled. Said, sorry, I'm in the boonies. So valid, and we are so fond of you. But yeah. But yeah, we're taking a break. We're taking a bit of a break. We're very excited for Campaign 2, though. Like, we're jazzed. We're jazzed.
Well, yeah, I think that's, like, something that gives us kind of, like, I don't want to say, like, an edge on Fee and Leo's story, but, like, I think it's something that is going to show through in the way we tell the story.
Yeah.
That, like, we have been writing these characters
for way longer.
For as long as we have known each other. Like, we are so intimately familiar with them.
Yeah,
and
they
story.
have, like, grown with us as people.
They've grown with us as trans people. For sure.
We trans their genders real good.
Trans their genders are real good.
Oh, goodness. But yeah.
But yeah, we started writing these people back when we were, like, shitty teenagers.
Yeah. Aries called us out. They did start as Hunger Games OCs. We don't want to talk about that era, but they've grown a lot, and we're very intimately familiar with them. You know, like, this is a story that we've wanted to tell for a really long time, and, like, there will be parallels with Campaign 1 because we didn't know if we were going to tell this story. So, like, a lot of things that we wanted to tell in this story got put in Campaign 1 because they were important.
Mom said it's my turn with the trans femme with autism and hypercompetence issues.
Yeah, the teaser. The character that I was voicing in the teaser is my PC. Kaylin, the character that was on the voicemail, is Barry's PC. And she rules. She rocks. Oh, she's my pal. She's my best friend. Oh, and someone asked, do you have nasties in Campaign 2? I need to know. Yes.
Many.
Emphatically, yes. Oh, yes.
We have nasty werewolf.
We have nasty werewolf.
We have
that nasty, but a little nasty.
He's a little nasty. We have nasty vampire who is very nasty.
Refined but nasty.
Refined but nasty.
We have
we have my PC who is a creature.
She is a creature. I love them. They're a creature. Just feral. Absolutely feral. My PC is also a creature. That's the thing. We're letting ourselves play creatures this time. Very excited to play creatures. We have a nasty bean-eating divorcee.
Cold baked beans out of the can.
Yeah. Cold baked beans out of the can. To be a Desert Song character. Flea Haverby.
I don't know that any of them have fleas.
Yeah. Yeah. We have some creatures.
Okay, so to close, last call for questions in the chat.
Last call for questions, but
to close out what we are contributing.
Yes.
Let's do the most, like, accurate but vague description of our characters that we can.
Our PCs?
Yes.
Or all the NPCs?
Our PCs.
War and Peace from Sky High. That's it. I'll give another one after you go, but somebody in the chat said, just name one song, besties. We'll know.
We can't do that. We have whole playlists.
We can pick one song off of each playlist.
Oh my god.
Off of my character's playlist, Brave as a Noun by AJJ. Or Going Invisible 2 by the Mountain Goats.
Mine, Surface Pressure from Encanto, or Look Who's Inside Again by Bo Burnham.
Yeah. Yeah. Go. Give a vague but accurate description.
Picture, if you will. A woman, but I say that in the loosest terms.
Woman asterisk.
Woman with an asterisk in there. Proportioned like Slenderman.
Yeah.
In one of those, like, Target Wine Mom t-shirts, like one of the ones that say, like, you had me at Merlot.
Yeah. Yeah, go on.
But but they have a ferret on each shoulder.
Not the ferrets. Harry says, yo, damn, is she single? Not for long. Not for long.
Chelsea's celebrating.
Not for long. Okay. Picture for my character. Just a shitty dude. Just shitty affectionate. You know every joke about gremlin trans masks?
He's dumb and he's loud and he wears a red hoodie.
He's loud and he wears a red hoodie. He's that. Oh god. Aries says gas station twink.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yes.
Aries gets it. Aries gets it. Gas station twink. Gas station twink. That's it. I'm trying to think. Like Carrie from the movie Carrie, but like an extrovert.
Like Carrie from the movie Carrie, but shops at Zoomies.
And Hot Topic. Aries says if you chant in the bathroom 3 times, he appears behind you and has a panic attack.
Exactly.
My resting heart rate registers as a panic attack. Yeah. Aries trying so hard not to spill the beans. We love you. And with that,
he shoots fire out of his hands, but also there are flames on his Chuck Taylors.
Yeah. He put them in by himself with the Sharpies.
Meanwhile, we have
that one post about holding a harmonica up to your mouth while you have a panic attack.
Meanwhile, we have a dialogue line for my character that is just, all right, let's see what your secrets are. Oh God, I play League of Legends. And with that,
we are done.
We will see you on our next Q&A when we release our next bonus episode.
So, the definition of please stop talking to me, I'm gonna cry. Okay.